Hello and welcome to the Street Crime UK YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Today we look at an unhappy ex-girlfriend who stalked her former partner and his new partner for months and even sent a severed pig's head to the new couple's workplace. Tia Mcbean, who was 22 at the time, had admitted to 12 offences in court, including repeatedly breaching a restraining order and stalking her ex, Oralton Robinson, and his partner, Arkea Bish, over a substantial amount of time. Mr. Robinson, who admitted he was previously in a 3-month relationship with Miss Mcbean in 2018, admitted he had done so whilst he was on a break with Miss Bish. Mr. Robinson explained that he began to distance himself from Miss Mcbean when she had explained to Mr. Robinson that she had suffered from a bipolar disorder, the court heard. However, Woolwich Crown Court had heard that Miss Mcbean had become pregnant with Mr. Robinson's child, and throughout the stalking campaign had made hundreds of phone calls to the pair. However, Woolwich Crown Court had heard how Miss Mcbean had become pregnant with Mr. Robinson's child, and throughout the stalking campaign had made hundreds of phone calls to the pair. Miss Mcbean had sent a pig's head to the couple's restaurant and messaged Miss Bish an explicit image with her father's face being photoshopped onto it. The delivery drivers would also turn back up to the restaurant and demand payment, as Miss Mcbean had reportedly ordered pizzas to their home through Just Eat, the court was also told. Jailing Miss Mcbean for 15 months, Judge Ruth Downing said, "It was very clear that it was a very short relationship which you entered to as adults, and Mr. Robinson does not wish to continue this relationship. Adults should be able to and be capable of pursuing their intimate affairs, including bringing them to an end without fears of reprisal or a hurtful or intrusive and persistent manner. I don't entirely discount that there was a genuine degree of apprehension shared by Mr. Robinson and Miss Bish that the conduct could escalate. Your quarrel was with an ex-lover, not his partner, and an employee of the business was also involved and had absolutely nothing to do with this quarrel at all. Your attitude has been one of defiance. None of this ever happened. It's all made up and I'm not pleading guilty. It's taken a lot to acknowledge that those irrational and totally unacceptable activities were first of all done by you, and also that they were unacceptable." Judge Downing said that sending the pig's head was a very gratuitous act of spite towards Miss Bish. The stalking of Miss Bish began when Mr. Robinson ended the relationship with Miss Mcbean. It started with Miss Mcbean sending the woman racially abusive messages about her son. Miss Mcbean was convicted of criminal damage and assault against Mr. Robinson, and a restraining order was issued preventing her from contacting Mr. Robinson or Miss Bish or attending their address. However, it was reported that Mr. Robinson was also convicted of assaulting Miss Mcbean, but the courts did not hear any further details of the offence. Prosecutor Matthew Dalton said that Miss Mcbean started stalking Mr. Robinson on a daily basis, beginning with him waking up several nights in a row to her knocking at the door and finding handwritten notes being stuck to his door. The couple said that it was quite common to receive hundreds of calls from withheld or various numbers and receive abusive text messages on a daily basis from Miss Mcbean. At one point it was reported she went to their address and was said to be sitting outside with a bottle of rum, shouting at the house. Afterwards, she reported to the police that Mr. Robinson had kidnapped her. However, Mr. Robinson had been with an officer making a statement to the police about Miss Mcbean at the time of the call. In another occasion, Miss Bish was approached by a customer at her restaurant, who showed her in a Facebook message from Miss Mcbean that Miss Mcbean had stated that she had seen a worker in the eatery indecently exposing himself whilst he was on shift. In the statement, Miss Bish said, "I became so upset by this. This was affecting my personal life and my sleep. I could not believe this was happening to me. It's now obviously beginning to affect my business. especially when she's saying to my customers awful things that are going on in the restaurant. The court also heard that Mr. Robinson had returned home from the police station after reporting her for sending pizzas to his house, only to find another delivery driver on his doorstep. Miss Mcbean then attended the address again and was reported to be banging the door and screaming outside. Miss Mcbean wanted to take things a step further, and this time she decided she would send a severed pig's head to the couple's Halal restaurant through another catering company. Mr. Dalton said a delivery was made. Mr. Robinson thought it was from a catering company, but he had never heard of the company before or made an order. And so he opened it with another employee, Shantae Lewis, who had opened it in quite a rush. When it was opened up, it was quite a shock. There was a pig's head inside. Nobody expected this at all. They only serve halal meat in the restaurant. And as soon as he saw the contents, he instantly believed that it was from Tia Mcbean. Details from the delivery included her email address, which appeared to be fake. Miss Lewis said she had to leave work early after opening up the delivery, which caused her to throw up and feel nauseous, as she is a vegan herself. Miss Mcbean was not finished. She sent Miss Bish an explicit photo that appeared to have Miss Bish's father's face photoshopped on, with a message reading, "Tell your dad to stop sending me explicit photos, laugh out loud." It had appeared that Miss Mcbean had FaceTimed Miss Bish's father and taken a screenshot of his face for the use of the photo. After all this, Mr. Robinson installed CCTV cameras at his home for his own personal safety. However, it was seen that Miss Mcbean had written "illegal immigrant" in red marker across his door. On one evening, Miss Mcbean called Miss Lewis 3 times in the early hours of the morning after she had made the statement about the pig's head incident to the police, telling Miss Lewis, "I know where you live." Miss Mcbean also sent food deliveries to her house on 2 occasions and admitted to harassing Miss Lewis by sending her threatening electronic communication. The court heard how Miss Mcbean had previous convictions for harassment, which she had received 4 months prison time, suspended for 12 months. James Hass-Latcher, defending Miss Mcbean, said that Miss Mcbean was diagnosed with unstable personality disorder at 18 and was not taking her medication at the time of offending. He said, "It's the tragic combination of somebody who was unstable with an unstable personality disorder, dealing with a pregnancy, and the breakup of a relationship." Judge Downing said that Miss Mcbean would have been released on license at the halfway point of a 15-month sentence, and due to time served on remand, would be out of prison in a matter of weeks. Miss Mcbean of Peckham, South East London, admitted to 7 counts of breaching a restraining order, 1 count of racially aggravated damaging property, 2 counts of stalking, 1 count of harassment, and 1 count of sending an offensive or threatening communication. What are your opinions of Miss Mcbean? Did she take things way too far with her ex-partner? Or do you think that everything she did was justifiable? Please let us know in the comments below. Thanks for joining us today, and as always, stay safe.